not my place, your place to think about that. It is your place and my place to make it work. To make the sacrifices, even if they were unwitting, of those who came before, transmute them, transform them into burnt offerings in advance of the day of the kingdom of heaven, of the garden. Even there, great anagram. It's the Garden of Eden, but Eden is an anagram for need. It was the Garden of Need. But it never was. There never was any Garden of Eden. Science will tell you that. Biology will tell you that. Evolution will tell you that. Your own frickin' brain, numbnuts, will tell you that. There never was a place where a guy and a gal were hanging out under a tree eating apples or frickin' avocados or whatever. Rather, it is a deeply embedded image within the genetic construct of all human beings of what is possible now. It's backwards, if you understood. It's written backwards. So the end, and sometimes it's a good idea to see the end and the beginning and the beginning and in the end. The end of it is the Garden of Eden. And it's right here. It's right around the corner. The Jews in the Holy Land. Yeah, maybe it's a holy land, and maybe blah, 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 and there's the Mosque of Aqsa and the Wailing Wall, and they go, because people are driven by what they're driven, but underneath it all and beyond it all is the famous invisible hand, but not Adam Smith's invisible hand. Adam Smith and his invisible hand. Blasphemer. The fact that these people, when they were being decimated in modern times, right, by whatever you want to call it, they say 6 million. That's a nice number, but it's very numbing. See the previous episode. N-U-M-B is numb. You put a bunch of zeros, it just makes people number. So we don't care. 6 million Jews died, 6 million Russians in the front, and 1 million Hutus and Tutsis killed each other. And I'm like, wow, that's numb. Okay, give me the next thing. Hey, when's American Idol starting? Anyway, so then finally there was a sense of something, and they were given by the world, because it's so caring and concerned, this desert land called Israel. It's like Tucson, where I live. It's hot. There's a lot of rocks and stuff. But they transformed it. Whatever you think of Israel, these people went and they turned the desert into lush gardens of delight. Because they believed, wrong or right, with understanding, not understanding, blah, blah, blah. But they turned it into a sign and a symbol that we can do anything, that this earth is one big blue-green garden with room and space and abundance for all. There's just one problem. And it's not really a problem, because ultimately it doesn't make a difference. God's made infinite worlds. He can make infinite more. I gotta let you in on something. In spite of all the, big feelings about it, if you're a believer, anyway, a chosen one, for instance, or one of those who come into the grace, or the Quran, and whatever. God doesn't need you. Fact of the matter is, God doesn't need you. And it's not, earlier on, I might as well mention it now because I'm going to have a job on Monday, so I won't be able to ramble as much. People ask in this day, atheists, if God exists. Well, if you look through the microscope and the telescope and all the extensions we have of our sensory apparatus, I can promise you, you will find God nowhere, no how. Bad news is this is all you get. Good news is this is more than enough. Because certainly God is. Because if God is not, then how can I be? I've got a vested interest in that proposition. So, okay, for you atheist agnostics who've come this far, I'm going to tip my hand. Got to let you know that I'm promoting whatever. Him, ish, him, her, whatever. But, just like a child understood things a certain way, and Dad needed to be there and, you know, give him guidance, we've grown, we got it all. We got it all. Look at you, 7 billion of you, 7 billion of me. No, only one of you. That's all there is. There's no 7 billion of you. There's only one of you. And lest you be concerned, the secret is there is one of you and none of me. Maybe. That's what makes it fun. That's why this is the age of fun. So, oh yeah, so as far as God, so God, definitely. And then around the 1800s, my good friend, Alfred Nietzsche, in the form of a parable of the light torch bearer, it's brilliant, had his character articulate as he carried the light through the square, the wanderer, and also sprach Zarathustra, which is Thus Spoke Zarathustra, which is a beautiful, oh my God, beautiful book. Had his light bearer announce the death of God, saying God is dead, which then everyone has taken and quoted out of context. So God is dead. Well, what he meant was, in my humble opinion, was that the conception that people have had for as long as people have had such a conception of this beard dude that looks a lot like Charlton Heston in the movies is dead. But he didn't, because he wasn't into it, he didn't offer, you know, whatever. But if you apply the formula from this other bunch of writing, which he wasn't very fond of, by the way. He liked the Old Testament, he didn't like the New Testament. It says you must die to be born again. So if that must happen to us, why wouldn't that be the case with the Heavenly Father? Must he not too die to be born again? Just a theoretical question, and that's okay on this channel, because this channel is Occupy God. So there's no, I don't owe anybody anything, and this is in the public domain. But here's the real lowdown. It's not that God doesn't exist. It's simply that God has left the building and given us the keys to the kingdom. It's like if you were a parent of a teenager who's reached maturity. You've given them everything. You sweat it, you try to help, you try to explain, you say, look, I know you wanted this, but this was better for you, blah, blah, blah. And the kid gets older and they get muscles, and all of a sudden they're like, you know, you used to box with them when they were 2 or 3 years old, and like Jacob and Israel, you know, fighting with God, and it was cute, and they were tumbling, and God's like, oh, you know, and then get older and then, you know, try and say, okay, look, I know you understand what I told you, but now think about it. Okay, who should cast the first stone? Let him who is without sin cast the first stone. Any of you without sin? Okay, I know I didn't write that down officially in those other books, but I'm letting you know you're at this new level of growth and maturation. And then with the advent of the Quran, and it's a sequence in time. You look at it, it's an evolutionary sequence in time. Here comes this voice again, but it's a little further. It's like, listen, Gabriel, do me a favor. There's this guy, okay, he's in a cave, and he's a nice enough guy, he's about 40. Let's just check in, see how they're doing, okay? I'm a little busy, okay? And Gabriel's like, cool, G, I got it. And so Gabriel delivers the Quran to Muhammad. Now, from the point of view of there, it's like, oh my God, you know? But from the point of view of the father, it's like, okay, is it on track? Oh no, your kid, they're still doing that? Oh, for my sake, you know, something like that. And then now at this point in time, it's done. The keys of the kingdom are here. Here's the great announcement. We're done. And he's gone. And this is it. And here you are. And here I am. Irrelevant. Whoops. Looks like I dropped it. Right? Quran. I got a beard. You ever notice that the serious dudes of religion all have the same thing in common? They all like to wear black and grow beards. So like the Orthodox Jew and the Orthodox Greek and the imams and mullahs, they probably all agree with each other much more than other so-called people within the same religion agree with each other. They've all, you know, created a heavy armor against sense and science. Blah. Anyway, okay, so general riff, because in speaking with this pastor, and I thank you, by the way, it did make me have to consider a few things, and I considered them, and it's all good. So so in this case, for the time being, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give an example which has nothing to do with the read. See, if you do the read, nothing will happen to you like me, okay? I'm not a product of it. I am simply test subject. And we can assume the test has gone horribly bad, okay? Because I had to figure it out myself. So, as a result, though, looking at it and going, blah, 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 I figured out, okay, this is what you got to do to shut the hell up. But how can you shut the hell up in a day where there's no quiet anywhere? So it's like, okay, here's what you do. Just do it. Try it yourself. If you are home of the, what is it? And the land of the free and the home of the brave. Are you brave enough? You got enough cojones, or whatever the female equivalent of it is? Oh no, but I'm so busy and I'm too smart, and my husband needs to tell me because I'm a Christian woman. I'm a Christian where I can shop wherever I want and run up my credit cards, but I'm a Christian woman and my place is at home by my husband. Unfortunately, there's no absolution. No one gets away with anything. Men, women, everyone's welcome, and it's all okay for everyone. And that's the okay, getting a little melodramatic here. Here's the upshot. The upshot is everything's fine. As far as, like, you know, if you're worried about dying and hell and heaven and whatever, you know, if you preach hell, you got hell burning in your own mind. If you're an unbeliever, not that you care because you've gotten past it, but just in case, you're gonna get into heaven. Everything is fine because the Heavenly Father, whatever, metaphor, symbolic, ancient DNA, actual guy with a beard, maybe on a bubble planet somewhere, you know, hanging out with L. Ron Hubbard, whatever, understands the complexity of this age and time, this YouTube, internet, Google, Gog versus Magog versus Facebook and MySpace and, you know, Word and Apple iMac and then banks and blah, blah, blah. He knows. It's like, oh my God, I love my kids. I'm sorry, guys. You have to work this out yourself. No one gets to say how it is. Everyone comes to the table. I don't think it's going to be easy. So, even though you guys don't know it, and it looks bleak, and it looks horrible, and it looks like torture every day that you wake up and click on your AOL News thing, my God, what a horror of... I love Ariana Huffington, but this Huffington Post, I mean, is adding a lot of least common denominator stuff. Sister, please, you know, exert some control. But, so the long story short is, everyone gets into heaven. That's why I can do this. Everyone gets into heaven. Except maybe one.